Hello. You know, just because it looks like you won, you need to take a closer look. It's not that you won. Your loss has been put on pause, been delayed. It's not over. You know, winning is tricky. Winning is tricky. You know, people that own a house and a car, they think they're winning. They're not. I ask you, do you own your car? Do you own your house? Or does your car and your house own you? I think that's the case. So, you have a wife and kids, they like the house. So, you have to go to work to keep the house. You need a car to go to work. So you have to go to work to pay for the car. And when you get done paying for the house and the car, and giving the kid and the wife what they want, what do you got left? Probably a credit card debt that you can't afford. So, like I said, does the house own you? I think it does. And you're not winning. You're living the illusion of winning. So, you know, it's just the American dream, right? A house, a car, a picket fence. Not what it's cracked up to be. It was a good illusion, it was a good sales pitch. Sold a lot of houses, sold a lot of fences. I never owned a house. I never owned a fence. Never really owned a car. When I'm 57, I'll be 57 in a few days. And I never really owned a car. I've had cars. I usually had a car, but I never owned it. And, life, right? You're a slave. You're a modern day slave. That's what you are. If you have a job, you're a modern day slave. If you have wealth, you're a modern day slave to that wealth. Believe me, if you're rich, being poor scares the hell out of you. So, you're a slave to your wealth. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is you can never have enough. Never have enough. If you have $1 million, it's not really a lot of money anymore. And what do you fear the most? Losing it. So what do you have to do? You have to turn it into $2 million. And what happens when you get $2 million? You got to turn it into 4, and so on and so on. So, people that win the big jackpot in the lottery, a lot of them still play lottery. Yeah, because they won. They think they can win again. And the biggest problem they have is they lose that money, which they didn't earn. So they can't re-earn it again. The only way they can get it is to win again. And we know what the odds are on that. So, you know, you're in a pickle. Once a cucumber becomes a pickle, it can never be a cucumber again. And that's the problem with all you people. You're all pickles. You bought into the American dream. It's turned you into a pickle. I didn't. I never, I've had my share of jobs. I've done some crazy jobs that you would never imagine me doing as a young kid. I worked since I was 11 years old, doing newspapers, penny savers. But I was paying for my horse. I had a horse at 11 years old. And I paid for the room, the board, and the shoes, and the food. So at 11 years old, I got a job delivering newspapers. So I know what it means to work. And that's why I don't work today. But, God works in mysterious ways. But God says, if you want to work for your money, go ahead. Be my guest. He'll let you work. And the problem is you'll never stop working. You'll be 70 years old working at McDonald's because you need the paycheck. But if you work for God, you don't have to work. That's what I do. I work for God. And money just comes to me. I don't play lotto. I have in the past, of course. I own the lotto, and that just came to me. You don't buy New York Lotto by chance. I was directed in that direction. And it was available. I didn't buy it from somebody. I bought it from Network Solutions, the name people that sell those names. And I was the first one to put it in, and I bought it. But I'm not responsible. God sent me to it. God said, hey, go put that name in there. Go see what you can do. So I did it. And it was available, and I bought it. So I was pretty shocked. I'm not saying I wasn't shocked. I was. And it's funny, the day after I bought it, I called up New York Lotto. I called the state, asked them if they wanted to buy it for $1 million. They said no. But I tried. I figured it'd be a quick turnaround. I bought the name for $35. I hope I could sell it for $1 million the next day. That's not a bad profit. So. You work for yourself, you work for yourself. If you work for God, you work for God. And God takes care of people who work for Him. I'm not saying go be a priest or a pastor. They don't work for God. They work for the church. So, all the rabbis and all them, they work for the church or the temple. They don't work for God. And they don't work for you either. They work for the temple. They work for the church. That's who they work for. So, that's not what I'm talking about when I say work for God. The first thing you have to do if you want to work for God is learn how to listen to Him. Learn how to listen to God. I think you can tell from some of my videos that I listen to God. And He gives me a lot of the information that I give to you. And that's why a lot of people say, how does He know that? What school did He go to? What book did He read? What show did He watch? What movie did He see? How does He know that? I've done none of the above. I read, of course. I go to movies. And there are messages in all those. And I know which ones are meant for me. Which ones I should listen to. Because I know how to listen to God. So, you gotta be careful. The devil talks too. And that's discernment. You have to know which is which. And sometimes I make mistakes, but they're really not mistakes, because I'm making them on purpose. You know. Because when you do things the devil tells you to do, you reveal other devils in the area. I have a sweatshirt that it says bait. That's all it says, the word bait. It's a pink sweatshirt. Go with my nails. And it says bait. And I'm bait. That's what I am. I'm God's bait. You know, what happens to bait? When you go after bait, you end up on the plate. And that's what happens to people that come after me. They end up on God's plate. So, and I can tell you, which I am right now, telling you I'm bait. And it won't matter for hill beans, because you'll still come after me. You'll still come after me. You could put a little bait sign on a worm that you put down for the fish, and you'll catch a fish. It won't matter that the sign is there that says bait. The fish will still go for it. And that's you. That's you. You're the fish. You know, what fish doesn't get caught? The one that keeps his mouth shut. And you're incapable of that, because you're a devil. Some of you are. Most of you are. Most of you can't help it. You live in the devil's country, United States of America. So, yeah. The devil runs this country, not God. Well, God does too, but I don't think you have to look at the presidency and say who's running it. You know. And it's not a Democrat-Republican thing. That's a bunch of crap. Yeah, they're all devils. You know. So, but I don't know. We're slaves to our desires, so you have to be careful with your desires. You know, a lot of men out there want a Ferrari. Some of them want two. Well, they want a Ferrari and a Lamborghini, kind of thing. But you know, my old saying, I always tell people, I'm like, when you look at a Ferrari on the road, what do you always notice about it? The passenger seat is empty. Why? Because the driver can't trust anybody. He doesn't trust anybody to put in that passenger seat. So, because they know they're in the car, because they want to be in the car, not because of him. So, it becomes its own nightmare. You know, expensive nightmare, but still a nightmare. You know, I used to think when you see a rich guy driving an old beat-up car, it was stupid. Why don't you go buy the Ferrari? They're not stupid. They don't need the Ferrari. The ones that do really aren't rich. You know. I never drove a fancy car. I had a K car, the old cop cars, K cars in the 80s. That's what I drove. And a Taurus, and a Ford Taurus. Yeah. But nothing fancy. Didn't need fancy. Got me from A to B. That was all. That's all I had a car for. Go to A to B. Yeah. And any girls I didn't pick up because they didn't like my car, that was a blessing in disguise. And the girls I did pick up, they didn't care about my car. They didn't care what kind of car I had. Usually they had nice cars. I didn't. I didn't care. You value what you value. Be careful what you value. Looks can be deceiving. Sure, I don't look like George Clooney, but I don't need to. He does. So, I have no teeth. Can you imagine George Clooney with no teeth? You won't see him in a movie if that was the case. Like you won't see me in a movie, most likely. So, I'm making my own movie right now. And you're not tuning out because of my teeth, are you? You don't care. Well, George Clooney, they would care. So, it's what you value. I have fake teeth, but I put them in once when I got them. It cost $5,000. I put them in my mouth once, and I never wear them again because they suck. They feel like shit in your mouth. I don't care to use them. No, thank you. I'm not into vanity. I like what I like. But I wear dresses. I have pink nails. I don't look good in them, but I like wearing them. I'm not competing with Christy Brinkley in a dress. I'm not competing with her. So I won't even try. And I'm sure George Clooney would look much better in a dress than I do. And I'm not competing with him either. I told you, I work for God. I don't work for George Clooney. I don't work for Christy Brinkley. I don't work for you. I work for God. God had me in the dress for a reason. It's more to do with the lines with bait. More to do with bait. It attracts a lot of devils. I get attacked by a lot of devils. And they end up on God's plate. And God says, thank you. And what do you do when you have bait? You catch a fish and you throw the same bait back in the water when you take the fish off the hook. Because the fish never gets the bait or hurts the bait. It gets the hook. So I don't get hurt. I go right back in the water. You do what you want. And that's what I will do. I'll do what I want. I'll do what God wants. And He gives me a big berth. I can do a lot of things on my own. Sometimes what I do, I think I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm actually doing what He wants me to do. And I find out, oh, this is what you wanted me to do, isn't it? When I go to a restaurant or something, oh, you wanted me to go here, didn't you? And I go to very nice restaurants. I have $200 a plate meals every so often, and I live off government money. So go figure. I love filet mignon. I love crab. I love lobster. I love sushi. I eat good. I'm poor, but I eat good. I only live once. I could walk out of that restaurant and get run down by a car. So I might as well enjoy myself before that happens. When you die and you're on your deathbed, you don't want to say, I wish I did. You want to say, I'm glad I did. And that's what I'm doing. You're working your asses off for a pension or a retirement so you can go to Italy when you're 70. And Italy's tough when you're 70. Don't go in a wheelchair. There's a lot of steps in Italy. You don't want to be in a wheelchair. So your life plan isn't going to work out if that's your life plan. So not much of a life plan. Your life plan is to work until you can't work no more. Work for God and you won't have to work. It's not too late. It's going to be hard. You're going to lose your house. You're going to lose your car. You're going to lose your wife, your kids. You're going to lose everything. But you're going to gain yourself. You're going to gain your soul. You're going to be in favor of God. God's going to love you. And He's going to show you how much He loves you. He'll give you money. He'll give you food. He'll give you transportation. You know, I just saw Avatar, Byron Ash. It cost me over $100 to see the movie. I had to take an Uber both ways. I bought a cheeseburger deluxe meal at the movie theater so I could eat. That was $25. The movie theater ticket was $30. So I saw it in 3D. I wanted to see it. It won't be in the movie theaters probably any much longer. I'm probably out of it now. I only went the other day. But I live a good life. I'm not suffering. I'm not suffering at all. I think you wish I was. Then you could justify going to work and saying, look, I don't want to live like him. Yeah. And you can do that. You know, I don't drive a Mercedes. Maybe you do. But wait till that Mercedes breaks and you need to part. Yeah. You're going to want my e-bike all of a sudden. I have a DeLorean e-bike. It's made by DeLorean. It's a good e-bike. So, look, don't believe the lies. Don't buy the sales pitch. Once you buy it, you're bought. And what's the one thing they ignore in the store? The item in the store that says sold. And if you're sold, you're done. Nobody's going to try to sell you or resell you. You're done. They're just waiting for them to come and pick you up. And once they do, you're done. So, don't be sold. I'm not sold. I'll never be sold. So, I'm an accountant. I know a lot about money. I know about the economy. I know about the systems that they install in all these companies to make the money go right to the top. And I don't want no part of it. So I think it hurts people, and I don't want to be a part of hurting people. I want to help you like I'm helping you right now. At least I think I am. So what are you doing at work all day? Who are you hurting? You're probably hurting a lot of people going to work every day. And you're making money for it. So keep doing that. I won't join you. I'll be eating my filet mignon while you're at work. Okay? Riding my bike. Laughing all the way to the bank. Philosophy is everything. The most important word in the world is philosophy. Without philosophy, we would have nothing. Everything you use in the daily day was created by the word philosophy. There was a philosophy behind a bottle, a pillow, a blanket, a bed. That's why they made them, because there was a philosophy behind it. So everything in the world is philosophy. And that's what I'm really good at, philosophy. Enjoy. And be safe. Yeah. I'm sorry I made you hate your house and your car, but your house and your car don't love you. That's all I can say.